Hello again, beautiful beings of light. I'm always trying to work with the lighting here. It's always very difficult. Okay, so today I've got my special Galactic Federation Ambassador pin. It's really awesome. A friend of mine gave this to me maybe about a year ago at one of my conferences. And today we're going to be talking all about the Galactic Federation. And we're going to be talking about some truth, some hard hitting, dirty laundry. And for me, it was really important that I put out this video. And the reason that, it's really important that I put out this video is I want to make sure that no one disempowers themselves within the Galactic Federation, or even me channeling the Galactic Federation, in thinking that the GFL is the end all to be all of information in the universe. And they're not. So today I have two really hard-hitting examples of corruption within the Galactic Federation that I think are important to bring up. And I also have some truths and some misconceptions about the GFL that I need to bring up as well. Once again, the purpose of today's video is to rebalance your perception and also to report on the light and the dark. And I love how there have been some YouTubers out there who have really said, exposing the real Elizabeth April. And, I think that's really funny because I'm like, what did I do wrong? I'm just living my life. I'm just being a human. There's nothing that I'm hiding, nothing that I'm not telling you guys other than, what I eat every day for dinner, right? It's a little too much. But there's really nothing going on in my life that's too exciting that I don't share. Most of the exciting things and the downloads and the awareness, I pretty much share every single week with you. What else did I want to mention? Yes, speaking of the Galactic Federation, I have another Galactic Federation Channeling Summit happening this Sunday. So if you're around and you want to check it out, tickets for that are just $11. It's always going to be just $11 on the 11th of every month. Okay, so just being aware of that. And I know a lot of you, myself included, have really been struggling with a lot of the symptoms: exhaustion, anxiety, freak accidents, a lot of negativity coming from your loved ones, a lot of triggering and reaction, a lot of old habit patterns and limiting belief, all hitting you hard right now at this time. Don't worry, hang in there. You are absolutely not alone. I have to tell you this. And, I've told so many people this in the past month. You're not alone. Everyone else is going through it. And that validation in understanding that we're not alone in going through it really allows us to surrender and go through it in an appropriate way. I also want to mention too, I don't really mention this often, but I do have an amazing online masterclass. It is a course, it's an 8-week course taking you from the 3rd dimension frequency into the 5th dimension frequency. So if you're interested in having that structure, in learning the lessons, in going through the workbook, and committing yourself to a change, this course specifically deals with human stuff, reaction, attachment, traumas, and it will help you release that, okay? So there is structure, there is help, there are tools out there, all right? And it's in this masterclass. So just keep that in your mind, right? And you can check out that page. Hopefully my assistant Lauren / project manager, because she just got an upgrade, has a link to that. If not, you can find it in the description below. And then, yeah, and then this week's members video. So I always record my membership video right after my Monday live video. So I figured, you know what? If we're going to be talking about the opposition within the Galactic Federation and hashing out some dirty laundry within the Galactic Federation, then let's hash out some dirty laundry within this reality. So this week's Thursday member video is going to be all about controlled opposition agenda. So if you're interested in learning about false light narratives and controlled opposition agenda and what the powers that be put out there as far as false light workers and disinformation, and not only understanding that, but how to transmute that, then definitely check out that video coming out this Thursday for members. Brand new videos every single week, 90 plus videos that you can binge watch, and of course Q&A. Also, thanks to, who was it that mentioned it? Her name's evading me now. Anyway, yes, Denise. Thanks to Denise in the little live chat commentary, who's a member. She asked if the Q&A post can be posted right after the Monday live video. So we're going to try that this week. The Q&A for all of my members is going to be about critical thinking and critical questions for the Galactic Federation. If you feel like I don't cover all of the dirty laundry, all of the things, all of the dark narratives within the GFL today, then feel free to ask questions. So only members can ask me questions, but everyone gets to watch the Q&A videos every Sunday, as you guys know. So members, watch out for that. That's going to be posted right after this video in the community section. Cool. Let's get into it. Okay, so I've heard from people that there are so many different narratives out there relating to the Galactic Federation. And one of the narratives is a pretty bad one. And it's the narrative that the Galactic Federation has actually brought all of the suffering to planet Earth, right? It's a pretty serious accusation. Okay. So let me just put out a thought experiment. This video is not meant to push you or sway you in one direction or another. It's not meant to give you information to say, okay, now I know. It's meant to allow you to question everything so that you can use your own discernment for yourself at the end of the day. It's all about your free will. It's all about giving your power back. Okay, that's what this video is about. So I want to take you through a thought experiment. Let's just say, for example, that the Galactic Federation is super corrupt, that they're like very low vibrational, that they are only giving us information for their own gains at the end of the day, right? Service to self. Let's just say they're super, super corrupt in all of the ways, all right? And as a matter of fact, in one of the narratives, they are the ones that have been giving us all of the suffering that we've ever gone through. Let's just say, for example, that that is who the Galactic Federation is, okay? There has to be an opposing force. If the GFL are the bad guys, then there has to be the good guys. Doesn't matter if it's the Galactic Federation or, a plant that's in your home. If we have negative, if we have dark, if we have low vibrational, we have to have light. That's just how the universe works. We are living in a binary reality, guys. Even if the GFL was super corrupt and dark and evil, we have to have an opposing force to that. I don't know what that, if the GFL is the dark force, I don't know what the light force would be. We can't have a double negative within the universe. We can't have the dark side, the nefarious players, right? The entities, the evil ones, and the GFL being evil and dark. Where's the light? It doesn't work that way. And ultimately, it doesn't matter who you perceive as light or dark. All you need to know is that there needs to be both sides within this entire universe. Within every dimension of this universe exists light and dark. That is the general makeup of this reality. This is a binary reality, okay? So I just wanted to play out that little thought experiment. Personally, I have the ability to discern between light and dark. It doesn't matter if a being comes to me and says, I'm with the Galactic Federation. It doesn't matter what they tell me, because ultimately I can penetrate through their projection. Because I have seen it all. I don't want to say I've seen it all. I've seen a lot. I've been to the gutters of the dark side. I have been to their bases. I have been to the fourth dimension. I have been to the layers that they reside in. I've been to the planets that they exist upon. And likewise, I have also experienced incredibly beautiful beings who have shared with me so much information with no gain or ulterior motives on their side. That allows me to have the discernment over who I'm communicating with. That's really important for all of you to know that I have done a lot of work, not all of it, I'm not perfect, I'm still learning every single day, but I have been attacked my entire life, right, by the dark side. And thank you for it, because it allows me to have that discernment. It allows me to be above polarity, to see light and dark, and not to feed into either paradigm. I allow myself to have shitty days just as much as I allow myself to have incredibly beautiful moments of expression and connection. All right? So I just wanted to play out that thought experiment. Sure, in your perception, it's okay if the Galactic Federation are the bad guys, but ultimately there's got to be an opposing force. There's got to be a good in the universe too, right? And ultimately I do believe, and I do have an altered perception. Doesn't mean I don't have real information for you today about the Galactic Federation's dirty laundry, right? But my perception is that ultimately they have a pure intention for the universe in mind. It's a pretty good baseline. Doesn't mean that they're perfect either, right? And we're going to get into that. Okay, so ultimately, who are the Galactic Federation? I've said this in many, many interviews, but I'm just going to make a statement again and just mention who they are. The Galactic Federation is an organization. That's what they are. That's not a big aha moment. That's not a grandiose ascended master vibration. They are an organization. Think about a non-for-profit organization and the corruption that exists within a pure intention. Do you see where I'm getting at? They're not perfect. They try and bring balance and unity to the entire universe. That's a huge, huge mission, right? And most of these individuals that work for the GFL, they're volunteering. They just want what's best for the universe. There's no ulterior motives on their end. There's no political gain that they get, right? So essentially, the Galactic Federation are just an organization, and their main intention is to bring balance to the universe, to bring unity. Thank you so much, Jeremy, and everyone else who has super chatted. You guys are incredible. I'm glad this content is resonating with you so far. Okay, so yes, so their main intention is balance. I want to let you know that the Galactic Federation does not have the main intention of only turning the universe into light. I have to repeat that. The Galactic Federation's mission is not about turning the universe into light. That is not what it's about. The Galactic Federation's mission is to bring balance between both sides of light and dark. It's kind of like, hey, we're not trying to come over there. We're not trying to conquer you. We're not trying to get anything from you to the dark side. We're just making sure that you're on your side of the universe, even though it's not really sides. You stay over there on your side. We'll stay over here on our side. And why can't we just maintain the balance of 50-50, 50% light, 50% dark, right? That's balance. They're not trying to rule anything, okay? They are just trying to maintain that balance. So that's really important that you realize and understand that they appreciate the darkness because they understand the greater scheme of, well, the dark has to exist in order for movement to happen. Once again, guys, if you had everything, if you had all knowledge, if you had all material things you could ever possibly want and ask for, life would get boring. There would be no challenge. There would be no growth. There would be no movement. Without low vibrational frequency, the light wouldn't move forward. All right? Okay, so here are some Galactic Federation truths, and there's a lot of misconceptions around these truths. So here it is. First of all, the Galactic Federation does not hold all of the information within the universe. They don't know it all. As a matter of fact, ascended masters and 12th dimensional beings don't know it all. The only thing, I guess, the only vibration that knows it all is pure source. And then we take that pure source energy and we funnel that into ourselves to understand whatever it is that we're trying to focus on. Okay? The Galactic Federation does not know it all. They never will. So it's important that you also reframe them in your own mind to say, yeah, they're just like spirit guides. They're learning their own lessons. Okay? 2, the Galactic Federation are restricted by limitations. The Galactic Federation are restricted by limitations. 2 of the biggest limitations that restrict the Galactic Federation are free will. Every soul is allowed and has, not allowed, every soul has free will. And the second biggest limitation that the GFL is restricted to is destiny, right? So I'll give you a brief example of free will versus destiny, just in this context. So free will. Say, for example, the Galactic Federation wants to intervene in a planet that is starving, right? And collectively, that planet and all the species on the planet say, no, we don't want your help. We're good, actually. We don't want your help. The Galactic Federation cannot override anyone's, not at a collective level, not at an individual level. The GFL cannot override anyone's free will. Straight up. Okay? Just is what it is. They can't help if the participant does not want the help. Right? And if you're a good, light worker, teacher, psychic, astral traveler or whatever, you will always get permission from the other person before you start downloading and receiving individual information to help that person. Or else you could potentially be infringing upon someone's free will. Right? So we also have to abide by these 2 major restrictions and laws. Now, with an example with destiny, right? You're like, well, how do they not, what's the restriction of destiny, right? It's kind of difficult to wrap your head around. So the example that came to my mind is the destiny of a plant, for example. A plant is an organic matter, and eventually, no matter how much, nourishment and sunlight and water you give it, there's going to be a life cycle of that plant. The plant is birthed, and then it dies. The Galactic Federation cannot interrupt that destiny of that plant and say, you know what, you probably shouldn't die. They can't interrupt natural cycles within the universe and reverse them. They can't. They're restricted by destiny. They are restricted by free will. That is a common debate. That is a common topic of conversation up there on the spaceships. Do we intervene? Do we not intervene? Are they ready? What are they saying? Where's their vibration at? So much of their conversations are around these limitations and restrictions because they respect individual consciousness. Low vibrational beings tend to just not respect individual consciousness. That's why we need an organization like the Galactic Federation to help to say, whoa, 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 you can't do that, right? Also, another truth about the Galactic Federation, they are not free from corruption. Simply put, they are not free from corruption. I want to say absolutely. There have been many moments that the Galactic Federation has been corrupted from the inside, mostly because there have been individual players that have overridden some of the laws within the Galactic Federation. Like I said, the laws of free will, the laws of destiny, the laws of the universe. And we're actually going to talk about two huge examples of some of this corruption. At least one huge example of corruption, and then another example of kind of something that happened recently. Okay, and then another truth about the GFL is they really do try and be as inclusive as possible. And what I mean by that is they try and include as many different species, really whoever wants to join. It could be the lowest of the low vibrational reptilian being who has then ascended into their own light and said, you know what, I want to help the collective. Can I help? And the Galactic Federation says, yes, come on aboard. You know, they're very inclusive, which can also be an issue within the realm of corruption, right? Okay, I also wanted to explain the difference between certain species out there in the universe. Like I said, we live in a binary reality. We live in a binary universe, above and beyond being human, above and beyond being in this matrix, in this trap. You know, there's a huge universe out there, and that's all binary as well. You've got light, you've got dark. So essentially, the beings out there you can put into the category of service to self versus service to others. The service to others just want the unity consciousness. They just want everyone to have the freedom to do what they need to do, to learn the lessons that they need to learn, to have the fullest life and existence and incarnation possible to move forward. Service to others. Service to self beings out there in the universe. They don't care. They don't care about anyone else. They don't care about collective. They don't care about unity. They care about them. Right now, right here, you know? And then there are also beings out there, and they're just neutral. They don't necessarily have like alternative, you know, agendas or nefarious thoughts about others. They just want to live their life. They just want to be chilling in peace. They don't necessarily want to fight for the collective, and they don't want to fight against the collective. They're just there, you know, and those beings are beautiful too, right? And once again, when you start to take a look at the greater perplexity of the universe, you start to appreciate all angles. You start to appreciate all vibrations. You start to appreciate all species within the universe. They all have their role. We wouldn't be able to move forward and grow and develop and expand and ascend without that darkness. Right? That appreciation will always transmute that vibration. Okay, and then, and then once again, I just want to reiterate and say that the Galactic Federation experiences polarity. Polarity, light and dark, you know, right or wrong, it doesn't just exist here on this planet. It exists up there on board their spaceships as well. Okay, so just kind of being aware of that they experience that and deal with that every day. Okay, cool. So I was meditating right before this live video, as I always do, to get information. And I opened my channels up to the Galactic Federation, and I typically always go to this giant mothership that hangs out just outside of Earth's atmosphere. So the GFL is everywhere, like in every galaxy, all around the universe. They're very expansive. And so I went to their mothership and I said, okay, give it to me. Hash out your dirty laundry. Like, give me a good example for humanity. And instantly I got drawn to this, got a little fly, little spirit guide. So instantly I was drawn to this council. What do they call themselves? They call themselves the High Council for Security. So this is not the Palladian Security Council that I usually go to. These beings were ancient. Like, a lot of them looked gray, but different types of gray. Very tall, skinny. Sometimes they had inverted knees. Some of them had inverted knees. It's just gross. I don't like it. Anyway, they didn't look very pretty. And I know, you know, it's like they're still full of love. Like, they are very wise, very ancient, very benevolent beings. And I asked them, I said, yeah, give me your dirty laundry. Like, what's going on? Like, I need to make sure that humans know that you guys are not free from corruption, to really help them maybe let go of an attachment of the GFL is everything, or, this is my only source of information, right? And what was it? Oh, yeah. So they were kind of going through all of their records, right? I could see them flipping through there's so many experiences and so many examples of corruption and takeover and stuff within that organization. And this is the one that they gave me. So they showed it to me. I mean, I'm a visual channel, so they basically gave me all the visuals of this whole experience. It happened a long time ago, like must have been millions of years ago. Like it was a while ago. Maybe not that long, actually. Maybe like hundreds of thousands. Okay, so Nigu is the name of the commander. Nigu, 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 commander. So he looked like, when they showed me him, so he had a commander uniform on, worked for the Galactic Federation. He actually kind of looked like a highly advanced dinosaur type of being. Definitely not reptilian, but definitely a species within the reptile, the reptile species. I mean, they look so different. I don't even know half of the species that I encounter what their names are, because, there's just not enough information on Earth about it. So, okay, so he had pink, kind of like pinkish skin, horns going on around the top of his head, right? And he was great. Like, he was an amazing commander, worked very diligently, worked very hard for the Galactic Federation, okay? And he climbed up the ranks, he proved himself. He also had the ability to be a shapeshifter. Now, once again, I know that it sounds like a reptilian and kind of looks like a reptilian, and now I'm saying that he's a shapeshifter, but I don't know how else to explain this. He had the DNA that was able to shift into different forms. His voice would change, his body would change. It was pretty wild. Kind of like a chameleon, kind of like that DNA, but way more advanced, right? That's just who he was. Like I said, not within the reptilian species, and he worked with the GFL. So he worked for probably 50 to 100 years. Granted, they live a lot longer than what we live on Earth. And he was a great worker, like I said, climbed the ranks. And turns out the entire time he was working for the Galactic Federation, he was actually a double agent, and he was working for the dark side, right? And what else did they... Yeah, so he was basically the head of the peace treaty relations, which is crazy, right? That, he's this shapeshifter guy and he's working for the GFL and he's like putting on this front that he really wants to work with peace treaty relations and he cares about the harmony and the unity and the balance between species. And the whole time he was just working for the corrupt side, the dark side. And they had one goal in mind, and it was like they were waiting and waiting and waiting until it was the perfect time to act on this goal that they had. It was really wild. Okay, so basically what ended up happening was, after working for so long with the GFL, he ended up, instead of doing a peace treaty relation with this planet, he ended up working with the nefarious side to actually blow this planet up. Because he had all the insider information, he was able to give them all that information so that they knew when and how to act on blowing up this planet. So I asked this council, I said, why? Like, why were the dark side, why were the nefarious side so intent and so adamant on blowing up this one planet? So much so that they basically wasted this guy's life, the entire time he worked for the GFL, just for this one moment. And it was a pretty big moment. And the council said that this planet was made up of these extremely ancient beings. And honestly, when I took a look at the beings, they almost looked like giant sloth beings. I don't know how else to explain them. They looked weird, but giant, like probably, maybe 8 or 9 feet tall. And they were just so wise and so ancient. When I tapped into their vibration on that planet, it felt like they were indigenous. Like it felt like they had like the wise elders of the indigenous, you know? And apparently this species had so much knowledge about the universe and the past mistakes, and they were like these ancient wisdom keepers is how I saw them. So of course this nefarious side wanted to blow up this planet and destroy all of this ancient wisdom. Now luckily there were some of these beings, these weird sloth-like beings, who also existed on spaceships, but it was maybe like 1% of their entire civilization that existed on these spaceships. So there was a couple that remained, but most of their ancient knowledge and wisdom was completely lost. And I could feel the energy of every single, there was only 4 members of this council. I could feel the energy of every single one of them replaying what had happened with the destruction of this planet and the knowledge and ancient wisdom that went along with it. And the one guy that I was telepathically speaking to said, it was a great loss. And all of them felt that morning. You know, it was a great loss for not just the Galactic Federation, but for this entire universe. It was a great loss that happened. And many of the members who worked with this Naigu, right, the commander, they all quit. I don't know if quit is the right word, step down. That's the word that they used. A lot of these members stepped down from these very powerful positions within the Galactic Federation because they felt like, why didn't I see that? Why wasn't I aware? Why wasn't I tuned in enough to know that this guy was actually just a mole, that he was playing us this whole time, right? So a lot of these members stepped down because of this sadness of, you know, we messed up. We let this guy in, right? So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. So then I asked the council, I said, okay, so you guys, I mean, this is just one example of how the Galactic Federation has been infiltrated, completely corrupted, and led astray by certain members that did not have the highest intention in mind. We need to remember that the Galactic Federation is an organization filled with individual incarnated souls that are all learning their own lessons, that are all on their own path, that are all dealing and struggling with their own issues, right? Just because you're in the 8th dimension or you're in an 8th dimensional body doesn't mean that you are free from the polarity reality, you know, right? So yeah, super interesting. So I said to the council, I said, so you've been through a lot of corruption, and there's a lot that you should be, I don't want to say there's a lot that you should be shameful of because I don't want to shame anyone, but there's a lot there that doesn't allow you to have integrity, right? Like you've got a history basically. I said, how do you prevent this moving forward? Like tell me, like what have you done since learning all these lessons and letting these beings in? And this is what they said. Oh yeah, they were talking about the vault. So and I was introduced to this vault, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or 2 ago. What is time? And this vault is really cool. They have many vaults, I just want to let you know. But what it looks like is it's a room on board the mothership. And like I said, many vaults in many places. And so the one that's on board this mothership is for this solar system alone, which is already a ton of information, right? And it's this giant room, and there's glass, like it's all glass, so there's like the back walls are solid. I don't know if it's metal or what, right? But they're solid. And then the front walls are all glass, and it's very high security. And there are these canisters, it's really cool, these metal canisters looking very high tech, and these canisters hold information and history and knowledge about this solar system, about the galactic wars, about the Galactic Federation, what decisions they made, what decisions they should have made, right? All of their wrongdoings are all contained within this knowledge and information vault. And there is basically like 2 per ship, 2 vault keepers, and they have a certain, it's almost like their vibration is the key to unlock the knowledge and information contained within these canisters. Kind of like if you were to scan your eye and it being a unique signature. No eye or fingerprint is like another. So it's that vibrational frequency that opens the knowledge and information within the vault. And then those vault keepers work on a council. So anytime they're like, ooh, we're about to encounter a galactic war, or oh, planet Earth is having some major issues, what have we done in the past? And how can we learn from those mistakes in order to move forward, with grace and ease and balance and unity, right? Always holding the highest vibration of unity and balance for everyone. So they were talking to me about this vault keeper and how this is where they contain and store information, and how this information isn't freely and openly accessible to everyone, which also helps with corruption. And then they also said, too, they now implement very rigorous tests and testing for anyone who wants to be a part of the Galactic Federation and for anyone who wants to climb the ranks within the Galactic Federation. Anyone who is in a position of power within the GFL is rigorously tested, vibrationally, intelligently, spiritually, energetically, emotionally tested, right? Even still, there is still corruption. There are still beings out there who are able to kind of weasel their way in, right? So once again, no organization, no being, no human, no intergalactic, interdimensional being is free from polarity and free from corruption and free from being led astray, right? So just keeping an open mind. Okay, and then I want to mention one more experience as well, and then I want to talk about discernment a little bit. So this next experience came to me. I've been working with this father for a while. If you guys haven't seen my hybrid video that I did last week, definitely check it out, okay? So I talked all about hybrid children, the hybridization project, and then hybrid parents as well on planet Earth. So I work one-on-one with a father. He's a hybrid father. He's amazing. And one of his children, and her name is Lania. I definitely asked her permission if that was okay if I said her name. Her name is Lania, and she's an inventor. So right when I connected with her and this father, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I've been working with them ever since, she worked with children, like she was quite young herself, and then she would love this holographic room, and she would play in this holographic room. It was kind of like putting on VR glasses. I think it's, virtual reality. Putting on VR glasses and like painting. That's what she loved to do. She loved creativity. She loved art in this holographic room on board these ships. She didn't have to put on a mask. The whole room was a holographic room, kind of like virtual reality. So that was really cool. Then she got super into inventing, right? And the first invention that she ever did, and it was cool because you can actually invent something. This is so wild. You can invent something in the vibrational space. Maybe it's like a 5D space in the virtual reality holographic space. You can invent it, and then you can densify it. Once again, my terminology is so not technical, but basically it was so cool. This hybrid child invented this spacecraft. It was her first invention, and it looked like a manta ray. One of those huge sea creatures, right? And they flap their manta ray wings. So this spacecraft, it was an individually manned spacecraft. You would lie down in it, and through your conscious awareness, you would control the spacecraft. It's the first thing she ever invented. After that, she was inventing incredible things to shift your DNA. These were all things that she was inventing for the Galactic Federation. We're not necessarily ready for those things yet. But anyway, it was really awesome. And it was just about a month ago, once again, what is time, where I was in the middle of my day, and all of a sudden I was feeling very sleepy, very ungrounded. And I'm like, okay, that's my sign to meditate, right? So I know that if anyone or anything wants to get in contact with me, I will feel a certain way. It's like a calling card. It's like, come on, come over here, we need your attention. So I was called into this other place, right? So I close my eyes, I'm in meditation, I leave my body, and right there, there's a being that's standing there. Humanoid being, I want to say Palladian, and he said, we really need your help, Elizabeth. Can you come over to our ship? And I said, sure. So I astral travel over to this mothership. This just happened, and it was chaos over on this mothership. It was part of the Galactic Federation. So what's going on, and why am I needed? Like, why am I here? Because there were so many different beings, like physical beings, and I don't know, it just felt like chaos. And then I saw Lania, this beautiful, short compared to everyone else, little hybrid child. And she's carrying this, I don't even know what it was. What it looked like was a glass cylinder with metal rings on either end. The rest of it was glass. And inside it looked like a light. It looked like an orangey, yellow, white, bright light that was contained within it. And instantly I knew that she had invented this thing, whatever this thing was. And I said, Lania, like, are you okay? What's going on? And she said, Elizabeth, I'm so happy you're here. I called for you, right? So she asked me to be there. And I said, what's happening? What do you need? Like, what's going on? Like, there's a lot of chaos, like a lot of mayhem going on. And she said, well, I invented this thing and they're really worried that it's too powerful and that it's not secure enough on this spaceship. And I said, what? Okay. And she's like, I just wanted you to be here for support in the transition, or what is it called? Transportation, in the transportation of this device to a more secure location. And I said, absolutely, I'll be here. And so what we did was, I was with her and this whole kind of, crew, who they were all freaked out. I still don't know what the device is. I really don't know what she invented. I guess I could probably ask her. Yeah, maybe I'll bring her in the next Galactic Federation meeting. That'll be cool. Okay, I'm just going to write a note down. Lania. If she wants to come through anyway. Anyway, and so then I was with her and we transported it to a secure location. Not going to mention where that location was, but we transported it off the ship, and that was just really interesting. But once again, we need to realize that there are chaotic moments that go on in the Galactic Federation. There are things they can't necessarily control. There are issues that arise every day within the GFL that they're not always the most aligned to making the best decisions, right? So corruption exists everywhere and is possible everywhere, but they're just trying their best. Just like me in a lot of ways, there's been a lot of attacks and a lot of negativity, and some comments and stuff like that recently. And I'm just here, I'm just trying my best, right? And that's really all I can do. And the Galactic Federation is the same. And once again, just a reminder that Galactic Federation members are just incarnated beings doing the best that they can, still trying to learn their lessons. And I'm going to leave it off with a little bit of a powerful message here. And the message is about discernment, okay? No matter if you believe in the Galactic Federation, you don't believe in the GFL, it doesn't matter. You believe they're good, they're bad. Even if your perception of me is evil and nefarious and bad and corrupted and GFL robot or whatever the things are, or you believe that I'm good and loving and fantastic and whatever, it doesn't matter. The only thing that needs to matter in relation to your own perception and conscious awareness is discernment. That is it. Everything that you focus on, you create as your reality. So if you're only focusing on the negative, if you're eating an ice cream cone and you're thinking, oh, this is so bad for me, it's full of sugar and calories, don't even bother eating it. If you're not going to enjoy it, if you're only going to look at the negative aspects of things, that is the reality that you are creating. You have that choice. I suggest that everyone question everything, because that will allow you to have a better discernment. Critically analyzing and assessing your reality is going to allow you to be above polarity. However, if you question every aspect of your reality so deeply, then you will be in a place where you don't know what is right. You don't know what is wrong. You don't know what is light, and you don't know what is dark, let alone you don't even know who you are. Because that questioning leads to lack of trust. And if you don't have trust within yourself or knowledge of even who you are, then you do not have the ability to discern between what is light and what is dark. You have chosen to only focus on the low vibrational aspects of this binary balanced 50-50 light and dark world. Therefore, you are limiting yourself in your own questioning by recreating a nefarious agenda within every aspect of your life. So when your friend calls you up and say, hey, let me take you out for dinner, what's their ulterior motive? What do they want from me, right? What is their goal? It's not allowing you to be free. It doesn't matter what is right, what is wrong. It doesn't matter what is the truth and what is not. Ultimately, you always have the free will to decide what the truth is for you. But if you're so wrapped up in questioning everything that you don't even know what light and dark is, or maybe you haven't even focused on the light, then you're missing a huge part of this binary reality. You should have good days and bad days. And being in 5D is just knowing how to navigate those different vibrations. Being a master means you can choose to go into the dark, and you can choose to go into the light. But that choice is yours. If you do not have discernment, then you are allowing the light to rule your life, or you're allowing the dark to rule your life. At the end of the day, the choice is yours, and discernment is the greatest gift that you could ever give yourself. So question everything, but also tap into your vibration and feel the world, the reality, the astral frequencies around you. That will allow you to navigate and understand what is good for you and what is not good for you. Thank you all so much as always. Be sure to grab your ticket for the Galactic Federation event this Sunday. Just $11 on the 11th of every month. I am very excited to bring through new beings of light and to see what their perception is on, you know what, maybe I could ask them about the election. I don't know if they're going to tell me anything, but yeah, I'm going to pick their brain. I'm going to write that down. And also, like I said, this Thursday, I'm just about to film a video for my members. It's going to be all about the controlled opposition agenda. So if you want to dive deeper into false light narratives and the controlled opposition agenda on this planet, and essentially how to rise above the agendas, then you definitely don't want to miss that members only video this Thursday. Love you all so much. Keep up the good work, keep up the high vibes, keep up the discernment. It's okay to feel down, it's okay to feel tired, it's okay to feel shitty, because you're just experiencing 1/2 of this polarity reality, and that's freaking beautiful. Bye for now.